So in this class, all of the planes take off as soon as that green flag drops. And they're staggered with 3, 2, 3, 3 in the front row, 2 in the middle row, 3 in the last row. And they just all go for pylon 1. You can see them all moving. Looks like sleeper Justin Phillipson got a good start on this one, and he passed Anders already on the runway. That's our buddy Justin Phillipson. He's racing 2 different aircraft today.
From Chico, California, that'll be race 81. Watch along with us here.
And that's Marseille is jumped into second place in heat stroke. Anders is in third in the old quad nickel, now Miss Eve. It's hard to tell who's in fourth. They're all pretty close. And in the back is Leo and Leo Mogul in Hysteria and Scott Holm from Canada. Here's our leader. That is Justin Phillipson in sleeper, number 91. Justin is racing 2 different aircraft this week, and his brother owns this one. He owns the other one. Looks like he's pulling out and getting a nice lead for himself. He's coming around pylon 4.
About 3 miles in length, this short racetrack in the sky here. Formula One utilizes some other classes as well. We will show all and tell all today for you. Meanwhile, we got the first lap well underway here in Reno. First race of the day.
So we should be seeing the green flag is up. That means this is lap 1. Justin Phillipson definitely has a good lead here. Anders Trygg is right behind him from Sweden. And right behind him, it looks like it's, I think that's Richard. And we have Kent Jackson and Marseille passing pretty much at the same time. Got Leo and Scott Holm bringing up the rear. That's our leader, Justin Phillipson, in sleeper out of Chico, California. Second place is race 7. That's Anders Trygg from Sweden. His aircraft is called Miss Eve. I have a feeling his wife's name is Eve. Beautiful aircraft. And that's our leader. That's Justin Phillipson. Pretty close race between these 2 gentlemen, between Justin and Anders.
And he has clicked off lap 1 very quickly, and closing perhaps a little bit as Anders Trygg.
It seems that way, yes. And Richard Zero is right behind him in third. And that is the last lap player. They made a lot of changes to that aircraft this year. They put a T-tail on it, which we rarely see. So you take a look at that when you get a chance. And Pooter with Steve Temple, and we call it Jet Law with Kent Jackson is right behind him.
These are, for the most part, very modern-looking planes, but their tradition goes far back. This is one of the earliest racing formats.
It looks like a pass coming up here.
Here we go.
Wow, Anders is really coming up on Justin. He's going high, trying to get some airspeed, and he's going to drop down, coming around pylon 6 on the west side of the course. Justin's just staying tightly on the pylons, trying to keep his... Wow, Anders is really coming up now.
Coming
and
strong. He's going to pass.
Passing him right at home pylon. Let's see if he can keep that.
He's the pole sitter, Anders Trygg.
And
lost that position.
And we talked about this yesterday about how the different propellers add, an interesting piece to this. The biplane class and the formula class start on the ground, so you sometimes see a slower propeller, but they make up the speed in the air. And that's what it looks like Anders Trygg has done in Miss Eve, and he's passed sleeper with Justin Phillipson just at the start of lap 3. Coming around the backside of the course, he is just pulling ahead. It's amazing to see that. Justin had it for the first 2 laps easy. Coming around towards home pylon again. Beautiful shot of the hills around the airport here. So, yep, here starting up lap 4, and we've got Anders Trygg, Justin Phillipson. Let's see who else. That's Richard Zato. And here comes a gaggle towards the back. Hard to tell who's in the lead here.
This is the B class. This is the secondary field qualifiers here, just under the top.
Actually, that's Leo Modal and Hysteria. Cooter, driven by Steve Temple. And our leader is still Anders Trygg. flying a beautiful line. He's been up here for about a month now and just getting used to the altitude. It's a lot different than Sweden. And he's been flying every morning. First thing in the morning, probably 5:30, 6 o'clock, he's out here every morning.
Well, you can't beat the conditions right now. Just absolutely perfect. Nice cool, too. These engines can work just perfectly.
Yep, start a lap 5, and Anders still has the lead. But you can just tell who's been flying their airplane. And this is Justin Phillipson in sleeper in second place. Richard Zato in third with last lap player. It looks like Leo's pulling it out. This is Leo Mogul from, he actually lives in Thailand. He's a Frenchman, but he lives in Thailand. His airplane is called Hysteria. Behind him is Steve Temple. But our leader is still Anders Trygg. Flying a beautiful line, flying a beautiful race.
Got about 2.5 laps left to go. Anders Trygg from Sweden. And in full control.
It seems that way. Sleeper is behind him, but I don't think he could catch him at this point.
Sleeper got out to the quick start here. Of course, the ground is a part of this race,
Exactly.
like you said, Marilyn. And
you never know.
you got 2 components there. They're both important, but
That's second place, Justin Phillipson out of
there he is.
Chico. And that's Richard Zato in last lap player, owned by a gentleman named Crichton King, the grip lock ties guy. Anders is now going to be passing Scott Holm. You just saw that pass. And Scott Holm from Canada has now been lapped. No one wants to be lapped. Coming around the back side of the course. Here's our leader, Anders Trygg, Miss Eve. Number 7 out of Sweden. I think I mentioned before, this airplane used to be called Quad Nickel, and it was owned by a gentleman named Jay Jones, who passed away, but he was just a prince in the Formula class. Everybody loved him. And here we have our second place racer. That is Justin Phillipson in sleeper. He'll be, we'll see him again later today in the gold. You can see that's a slab wing cassult. You can see how it looks like a Hershey bar. Oh, that audio was great. Anders, and there's Pooter just putting a pass on someone I can't tell. Oh, that's Mercedes.
It's race 20, moving around race number 8.
Let's see who we have coming. That looks like Steve Temple and Pooter. And then Kent Jackson. That's right there. That's our leader. That's Anders Trygg, number 7.
White flag, white flag.
This is the final lap here. White flag is up, and Anders Trygg well ahead of the rest of the field.
Absolutely. He gained most of that on the... Well, Justin Phillipson had him on the ground, and he gained it in the air. Justin Phillipson just put a pass on Scott Holm. And last lap player is coming around the east side, of course. Here comes Leo. But our eyes are all on Anders right now, number 7, and Miss Eve. He's going to be passing Marseille next, and heat stroke. You can see the different types of wings they have there. That's a taper wing and a slab wing. Taper wings are faster, let's just say that.
This is actually the first race of the meet for these racers,
Correct,
right? They did not get to race on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got winded out. Here comes our winner. The checkered flag coming up.
Checkered flag, win comp.
Anders Trygg in first place.
Justin Phillipson in second place in sleeper. And we have Richard Zato in last lap player. And he is passing Scott Holm right at the home pylon. There's Leo Mogul from Thailand in Hysteria coming in 4th. Let's see what happens here.
Should be 3 planes left, and there they are, yes.
All together. Looks like Pooter in the lead. It's anybody's game at this point, but it looks like Steve Temple and Kent Jackson are going for it. Marseille's wisely staying out of that battle.
Heat stroke is following up.
Yeah, so it's Steve Temple and Kent Jackson and then Marseille.
9's in the cool down behind 1-5.
We got one race in the books already today. It is unofficial at this